This is a cakewalk so far. No, 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 no. No, no, no. Yeah, take that. Take that. Take that. Oh, mother. So the biggest open source model ever released one-shotted that game from one prompt and quite a bit of time working and churning to get it to run. The game works. It's fun. But as you can see, it has some real issues. When I threw that little canister at the robot, it woke back up. When I tried to outrun the robot, it collided and clipped with my player's body. So it has some rough edges, but for one shot, it worked pretty well. This is a video that you have all been asking for. This is, of course, vibe coded with the Kimi K3 model. It is breaking the internet right now. And the stars align perfectly. This video is actually sponsored by Kimi. They paid for my time and gave me early access to the model. They did not pay for my conclusions. And with that, I plan on giving you a full peek behind the curtain. I want to tell you dollars, time spent, how many times I needed to step in on this model, because I am most interested in giving you the most credible reports on how these models work and how they can wedge into your workflows. And right now, I believe that Kimi K3 is a very interesting model. Let's get into it. First off, how is Kimi able to do this? Prior to this, trillion scale open source pre-training has not happened. And that's been due to hardware limitations and software limitations. I've talked about this on the channel before. There is so much freaking money in AI right now that any developments that are going to come out are going to be funded by that money. Everyone is spending a ton of money trying to get these models to run faster, to train them cheaper, to use less compute. And when you got to use compute, to make compute as efficient as possible. And the Moonshot AI team had a massive breakthrough when they developed Kimi Delta Attention. I have the paper up here. Of course, Patreon subscribers are going to get the full research packet on my page with all of this in it. So you'll have the PDF over there. But the bottom line for this is that they basically took 10-year-old transformer design and rethought it. They made it about 25% more efficient, and they only blew the cost up by 2%. These are exactly the kind of genre-defying gains that I'm talking about in every video about AI now. How a software tweak, a methodology tweak can unlock massive amounts of power for AI models at barely any expense, and in some costs even cutting expense. They were able to get a 25% improvement at just 2% increased cost, which is huge. And I'm not just talking vague numbers here. When you're talking about developing a game, even if it's a browser game like this, when you're talking about developing a game, the model really has to hold the whole code base in its head. And it can't do that with a limited context window. It needs massive context. So the million token context window, especially when it can keep coherence between all different parts of the context that you've fed it without losing track, that unlocks different types of software development as well. And I think we're going to start to see some very interesting projects come out of this model, as we already have on X in the past few days. Pop open what I fed it here. Here's actually what I prompted it with, this plan.md file. I'm going to link this repo below so you can just go and get this code. It'll be free on the GitHub. Go download it, toy around with it, build this into your own game. I don't care. But you can parse through this whole thing on your own time. I'll just give you a quick summary. Basically looking for a browser-based first-person 3D game using three.js, vanilla.js served with Vite. And you're going to be a maintenance robot in a procedurally generated server facility. Collect all the data cores on each floor, reach the freight elevator before lockdown, descend 3 floors. So this is a progressive, generative type game. I thought that would be an interesting experiment to use with an LLM, because you're not going to rely on predefined maps of the levels. You're not going to give it sort of an easy way out to say, just basically make this 2D map 3D and put rigid bodies in it. This is actually hard because it's having to deal with the conception of the level from the ground up. And you'll notice if you download this, if you queue up the game, I actually have a live version. We'll put the link below there. I have it hosted for you if you want to play it in your browser. Please note that's not going to work on mobile because it needs a GPU. So you're going to have to do it on your computer. But you'll notice you can actually change the seed also. And if you change the random seed, you'll change the layout of all of the levels. So you can get a different game each time, which is pretty cool. It's kind of like a really, 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 really lo-fi version of a game like No Man's Sky. So you can see here we have some basics, like where does the project live, art direction and assets, which it proposed sort of a low poly look. And I'm like, no, let's crank that up a little bit and make it not AAA grade, but we should have some, reflections, some blooms, some effects, some post-processing, those sorts of things, which make it look a little bit nicer. Tech stack, it had logical suggestions, so I didn't really have any feedback there. And then some architecture plans. But I thought what we could do for the rest of this is why don't we just queue up Kimi and ask it to expand on the game a little bit and see how it does in real time. These are not cooked or prefigured results. I've walked into this video knowing not exactly what features I'm going to add, but we'll try to add them. I will cut when it's thinking, and then we will queue it back up. You'll see the full transcript, though, and we'll see how it works. It actually has a swarm mode, which is kind of cool. I put it in YOLO swarm mode. Let's see what this baby can do. Let's fix up a couple of issues I'm noticing. First off, there are rigid body physics that should be observed. Right now, if a drone runs into me, it can actually intersect with my player's body, which makes it impossible to throw a projectile at. So please fix that. Also, when I throw a projectile at one of the robots and it glitches out, if I throw another projectile at it, it wakes back up, which seems like a bug. It shouldn't toggle state. It should probably reset the knocked out or robot is asleep wait period. So fix that as well. All right, let's kick it off. One is fixing the drone player body collision. The other one's fixing the canister rehit behavior in parallel. So nice. And I like this UI too. Looks like we even have little progress bars for each of them. That's super nice visual way to represent what's going on. I like that. Yeah, this is cool. I actually like this harness quite a bit. Okay, Kimi, it says drones can no longer intersect my body. That's good. Rehitting a stun drone resets its knockout timer instead of ghosting through. Okay. I have the dev server running over here. Let's go ahead and just restart it to make sure we pick up any changes if it missed them. Let's launch the game and let's see what happens. Okay, I see a drone over there. Let's weapon. I need a weapon. There we go. Okay, let's go find that enemy drone. Oh, there's a bad guy. Okay, cool. He doesn't go through me. And then if I hit him again, we reset the stun timer. All right, so it solved both of the issues. Oh, go away. There we go. All right, enough. And I want to try. It said /web for a web view. I haven't tried this out. We're doing this for the first time on camera. This is super cool. Super cool. This is kind of in lieu of them having, well, they do have a native desktop app, but I guess this is just runs in the browser. This is cool. We'll continue on, and here we'll keep it swarm mode. Let's say in level 1, make sure that there's like 20 drones so we can hit one right away. I'm doing a video demo for this right now, and right now it's kind of hard to walk around and find a drone for the demo. In addition to that, I want you to use the Kimi API so that the drones taunt me with some text on screen. It should be a unique taunt sentence, about 1 sentence in length every time they do it. And for the time being, let's temporarily disable the possibility of the main character dying. So that way we can stand there and just see the taunt come in from one of the drones. While it's coding that, I wanted to briefly show you usage data, okay? Similar to a lot of the other providers, there's a 5-hour window, there's a 7-day window, and then there's the total usage window for the month. Now, Kimi hooked me up with the $200 plan, which is comparable to other Frontier Lab AI plans. And I've mostly just been using it in Kimi Code. I've only used it to build this project. As you can see in the sidebar there, I tested a new scale product launch video, and then I've sent like 2 or 3 just one-off chats to it to just test its chat capability. And with all of that, I've used up less than 1% of my entire usage for the month. This has all been on the K3 model, the forefront model that they offer. So that's pretty good bang for your buck. All right, we got God mode on. We got taunts going, like a lot of taunts. Every corridor you trust ends at me. Motion detected, you were never as quiet as you believed. Oh, all right, those are really sick burns. Let's get out of here. Okay, let's actually talk the scorecard. Let's take a step back. Let's evaluate this model. Like I said, Moonshot AI has paid me for my time, not for my opinions. I promise to give an accurate and honest review of this model as I do on the channel. It's pretty good, but it's not all roses. So let's go through, did it do the mission? Did it ship a complete playable game? Yes, this model is clearly built for end-to-end knowledge work. It's clearly built for long horizon coding tasks. That much is clear. almost to a fault. It seems like if you are using this on small tasks, it's going to be very broad, very comprehensive, very extensive. And sometimes you might not need that, but that's what it's going to bias towards. So I think if you approach it with that mindset that I'm going to give it a very big task with a clear outcome, and it's going to need to make a lot of decisions on the way there, this model is going to shine for coding. It's likely, although I haven't tested it a lot with knowledge work, going to do well on knowledge work too. I need sources on this. I need you to conduct research on this thing. This is the final artifact that I need. After you've done that research, I need you to gather at least N number of sources, that sort of thing. My hunch is that it would perform very well in that regard. So yes, it's able to deliver on that long horizon work unequivocally. Let's talk about money a little bit, because a lot of AI providers are playing games with the money right now. The prices go up, they go down, the usage quotas go up, the usage quotas go down. And Kimi's model is fairly straightforward. If we just do rough math, you can see that my total usage, again, which was everything I showed you today, it was the initial spec generation, it was the goal mode on that initial spec to generate the game that I showed you as is at the beginning of the stream. And it's, a handful of queries that I just rifled off to the Kimi regular chat interface as well. That's used up about 1% of my plan. This is a $200 plan, which means that all of that usage costs me about $2, which is pretty darn good. I don't think you're going to find a better bargain for a model of this caliber out there right now. Let's talk time, because I mentioned that it would take time. When I asked it to add those taunts in, the last thing I did, generate 100 taunts, put those in a file, have them generate randomly, blah, blah, blah. It took slightly over 15 minutes, which is a long time. Even for a model of this caliber and of this size, that's a long time. That's enough time that I want to get up, go outside, make a coffee maybe, and come back to my work, which is going to require me to gain context again, remember what the heck was I doing before I got up from my desk. That being said, I don't think that I've given it a fair shake in terms of timing. Like I said, this model broke the internet over the weekend. Everybody and their brother is talking about this model. If you haven't looked at Twitter recently, this is all over tech Twitter. This is all tech Twitter is talking about the past weekend, is the K3 model. And people are destroying their servers. I assume that so many people are using this because of all of the hype going around it, myself included. And so I don't feel like I can really provide a fair evaluation on speed. I did notice that when I did the initial pass of the game, it was faster. It's still a frontier class type model, so it's going to take a while to chew on things. But 15 minutes for, generate 100 taunts and come back to me, that is taking a little bit of time, but I do suspect it's because their servers are under load. The silver lining I will say about that is you have these other frontier model providers, and you know exactly who they are, where once they get into a pinch on server costs, they have a big knob for intelligence or dumbness of the model, and they just crank that down to alleviate the server burden a little bit. I don't get the impression that Moonshot is doing that Kimi AI here, I get the impression that it's the same quality of model that I was receiving when I one-shotted the initial part of this game. It's just dragging a little bit now. So I will say that if quality is a no-go for you, like it's got to be at a predictable level of quality, then this is actually going to be better than a lot of frontier models, but you might pay for that with time depending on the server load. Human interventions, not too bad. A couple of gotchas in the game, like the drone passing through the wall, the couple of bugs that we fixed right off the bat with the toggling of state when you throw the canister at the drone, those sorts of things. So I would like to see those patched up, as the model develops and as they iterate on this, but overall pretty good for a one shot of a game. All of that is to say, I would genuinely recommend this model. They've gifted me a month of the free Vivace tier subscription. I intend to use the entire usage quota for that over the rest of the month because I'm having a good time with it. Granted, a lot of that's going to be async while their servers are under load. And if they manage to speed things up a little bit, I think that I will probably renew and keep using it. If you're interested in trying it out, because I think everyone should get firsthand experience with these models, especially since this is such a different way of doing things than a lot of the big American models coming out right now, you can try Kimi K3 via the link in the description. Like I said, they have that rebate program set up now, so please use that link to get the best price possible. And that's only valid through August 12th. So do it soon. But thank you so much for watching. Thank you for sponsoring this video, Moonshot AI, for reviewing Kimi. This is one of the coolest entrants into the AI race I think I've seen recently. Nobody really saw it coming, and now we have a real competitive race going on. So thanks again for letting me review your model. Hope this was helpful. Curious if you're using Kimi or any other Frontier models and you want to talk about how it stacks up, drop that below in the comments. Let's keep the conversation going.